Hey, what is going on? It is 12 noon on Friday, which means it's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Christmas. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we're here every Friday at noon for your weekly mastermind to grow your real estate business. So you don't just get your real estate license, but you really build a future for yourself. You build a career, a business, a purpose in this space that is real estate. And that's whether you're looking to do this full-time all in, or you're just trying to make a little bit of extra money on the side with maybe some referrals, or just working part-time, maybe closing a few deals a year. Real estate is what you make of it, but at the same time, there's a lot of fundamental principles that are universal across how much you practice real estate and what kind of real estate it is that you're practicing. And one of those things that is very universal across the board is relationships. Relationships with leads, not just relationships with friends and family. That's a great place to start in real estate, is friends and family. But even when it is friends and family, now when you're looking at them from a business perspective, how do you have those more business-oriented conversations? And it starts by understanding how to have those business-oriented conversations with people that you don't already have a relationship with. And so what we're going to be talking about today is working leads. So you get contacted by somebody. Maybe they fill out something on your website, you meet them at an open house, you're just walking through your neighborhood and they're out there doing some gardening, and you strike up a conversation, and they're now all of a sudden talking about how they're getting ready to sell their house and you've got a listing appointment. However it is that you're meeting people, it might not always be as easy as you get an appointment right then and there. It might be you meet this person gardening in their front yard and they're saying, yeah, we've been here for a while, and we've been thinking about moving, but we're not ready yet, but maybe in the next year or two we're probably gonna sell. Are you gonna still be there for them a year from now? And better question, does somebody else have a better relationship that has a real estate license with them a year from now? So one of the things that's really important in real estate to understand is, even though we're doing sales, this isn't your typical sales type of position. This isn't where we're like going door to door trying to sell some overpriced cleaner. We're not trying to sell something that people might not need. We're selling not only one of the things that is one of the most basic necessities, but also something they greatly desire. And it's that they greatly desire it where we're here to assist them through this process and help streamline it, make it efficient, rather than try to convince them on this whole idea in general. So it's really important to hone in on the relationship, but at the same time, use the relationship to better understand your client so you can move the ball down the field, so you can move the deal forward. So what we're going to be talking about today are some questions you could ask, some topics, some ways you could bring things up to help you better understand your client's sense of urgency, the motivation factors, how soon it is that they're looking to pull the trigger on a deal like this, and so much more information that will help you better understand your clients, your potential clients, and turn them into actual clients. So that's what we're talking about today, working leads. If you're at all involved in real estate, and even if you're not in real estate, you could probably take some of the stuff and spin it around to whatever it is that you do. Stick around, because we're a great show today on working leads. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Chrismo, and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Friday, as well as Wednesdays for Ask the Instructor. So if you need to get your real estate license, if you're studying for your real estate exam, if you've got to complete your post-licensing, continue education, you want to get your broker license, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. The phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. Or you can check us out online at tampaschool.com. So how do you work leads? What do you do to work leads? First and foremost, you want to understand the purpose. And not just the overall purpose. Too many people get hung up on what the ultimate end goal is. You want to focus on the purpose of the moment. You can't just focus on the end goal of selling a house, closing a transaction. Yes, ultimately that is going to be in the back of your head if that's what you need to do. So there's no avoiding that thought being in your head because it's just so connected to how it is that we get paid. But if when you're having the initial conversation with somebody, all you could think about is closing the deal for them and they haven't even signed a contract yet, that's not going to elicit a conversation that leads to the conversation about the contract that gets you paid. So we got to focus on the purpose of this very moment. And it all starts with a conversation. If you are not having a conversation with them, you are not able to do business with them. So how do you start a conversation? Depends on the situation. It could be a more direct method, such as a phone call. Maybe a little bit more indirect, like a text message or an email. Maybe even more indirect, like a postcard or a flyer in the mail. Or maybe the most direct, where you're maybe visiting people door to door. But if you don't have any business right now, if you have no leads, or maybe you do have leads, but you need more leads. We always need more leads. We always need to be funneling in more and more business so that we can keep our business growing bigger and stronger. And if you say, well, John, there's only so much business that I could do, well, great. But now are you at the point where you want to start helping others build their business and build your business by helping others build their business? If so, then we've got a lot farther to go. But otherwise, you can kind of cruise on a little bit. But start a conversation, because until you get to the point where you have more leads than you know what to do with, until you're to the point where you're literally having to hire other agents on a team now because you got so much business, until you get to that point, you want to focus on starting conversations with new potential clients. And how do you start a conversation? You know, one of the most cringe, I love that word cringe, it's whenever you see something you're like, ooh, yikes, why are they doing that? And one of those cringe moments that happens a lot in real estate is when somebody will make a post of hey, I could sell your house today, and that's it, and that's all that is that they're talking about. And it's usually not so bad at first, but especially when it starts repeating over and over and over again, where it basically is just you talking about how you can make money off of them. Essentially, that's what it kind of comes down to when you're like, hey, let me sell your house, I could sell your house. When there's nothing about them, they're not going to start a conversation with you. So you have to be creative. You have to be creative and think of, how can you start a conversation? Not just how do you shove stuff in their face, but how do you start a conversation? Because shoving things in people's faces can get you some attention, but a lot of times it's bad attention that warrants. So if you could work in some creativity of how to start a conversation that makes this person want to respond. Whatever you're using, whether it's a phone, whether it's a text message, whether it's a postcard, a letter, an email, if you don't have a conversation yet, you need to start a conversation. You're not going to get to a contract without a conversation. So start a conversation. How do you start a conversation? It doesn't have to be, hey, do you want to sell? Or how soon do you want to sell? How soon do you want to buy? It doesn't have to be foaming at the mouth, how much money can I make off of you? Maybe they just came in off of your website. Hey, thanks so much for checking out our website. I'm hoping you're finding everything okay. Or maybe, are you finding everything okay? That's maybe not the best question. And you might say, well, why? Why is that not a great question? Because it's a yes or no question. So one of the best ways to start a conversation is with an open-ended question. An open-ended question. That means not yes or no. That means not something that could be answered in one word. Something that requires them to maybe think a little bit and use a few words to open up to you. That's what I called an open-ended question. And these are some of the best conversation starters. You know, maybe you're walking down the street through the neighborhood and you see this person in their front yard gardening. You're not going to run up to them and hand out a business card and say, hey, I could be your realtor. They're going to look at you and say, okay, thanks. Can you get off my yard now? Whereas if you're walking by, you say, wow, those are, what type of flowers are those? That's an open-ended question. Because they can't say nope. I mean, they can, I guess. I guess they can just say no. But if you ask somebody, what kind of flowers are those? Oh, wow, those are so beautiful. What do you know the name of those flowers? That's an open-ended question that's going to start a conversation. But you might say, well, John, I don't want to talk to people about their flowers. I just want to make money. Be patient. Be patient. You might have to talk about their flowers a little bit to get them to open up to you. You might have to talk about what it is that they're doing. You know, maybe you're at your kid's soccer game. Now, maybe let's assume you don't like your kids and you don't care about what they're doing out there on the soccer field. But the other parents probably do. You might be at the soccer game, just say, all right, hopefully my kid doesn't bang himself up too bad, so I got to pay attention to him because I'm going to go find some commissions out in this crowd. Again, foaming at the mouth, not a good look. It's going to turn people off. So what do? You start a conversation in a more creative way. You want to focus on building the relationships. And the end results will come. And look, if you don't believe me on this, go out there and go try it. Go just try shoving business cards in people's faces and just for not making any small talk. And look, this was a hard lesson I had to learn because I hate small talk. I hate wasted words. I hate little conversations that aren't going anywhere. But I understand that sometimes they're necessary, especially as an icebreaker. You've heard that term before, an icebreaker? Why is that a term? It's just not just a neat concept or a game. You've got to break the ice. When you've got a cold relationship, when you have no relationship and a cold client, you've got to break the ice. That's literally where this, I'm sure that's me making that up. I don't know if that's where the term came from, but I'm sure that's where the term came from breaking the ice on a cold client. So how do you start a conversation? I don't know. If they're gardening, you're asking them about their flowers, their plants. If you're at your kid's soccer game, you're talking about the soccer. And then eventually the conversation will probably lead to real estate at some point. And if they're interested in talking about real estate, well, great. But let's focus on just building a relationship. Focus on more people getting to know us. Look, you can do what I'm doing right here. Just wear a shirt. Wear some sort of clothing, a hat, or something like that that says you're in real estate, a name tag. And that's enough. People will get it. You don't need to also tell them you're a realtor. If you're wearing realtor stuff, they'll get it. They'll figure it out. They'll connect the dots. Maybe they won't, but break the news to them later. Ease them into the idea if it's not obvious enough. Because again, ultimately what's important to the clients, if we think of the purpose, the ultimate overall purpose of the entire transaction, it's to serve our clients. Because if we can't serve a client, we don't get paid. So this client is an opportunity for us to earn a commission if we appropriately serve them. We help them accomplish their goal of selling their house, buying their house, whatever it is that they're looking to do. So our ultimate purpose is to serve them. And in order for us to serve them, we have to do something very important called fact-finding. And this is how you could transition the conversation into more of a sales-oriented track. And it's not really that you're selling them anything at this point. You're just trying to qualify them. You're just trying to figure out, are they somebody who needs to do business sometime soon? Everybody is a potential customer at some point. It's just a question of when. When are they going to need somebody to help them buy or sell real estate? Or maybe even rent or lease real estate? Because you can make money on that side of it as well. And, if we're talking about working leads, if you've got rental clients or had rental clients, those rental clients will eventually turn into buyers, most likely over time. The question is, are they going to be your buyers? And the answer is, are you following up with them? Or the answer is, if you're following up with them. If you're following up with them, they will be your clients when they decide or they're financially capable of making a purchase. If you maintain that relationship. But if you never start that relationship from the beginning, you're never going to end up with a transaction. At some point, you have to start the relationship, and that all starts with a conversation, with breaking the ice. But again, doing so in a creative way. And for any of you guys out there that are watching that are like, how do you go talk to strangers? How do you just walk up to somebody and just say something? Look, to this day, that's still something that just doesn't come natural to me. But I could do it if I want to. If there's some reason I have to go out there and do that, I know the things I need to do to start a conversation. Doesn't come natural to me, I can guarantee you that, but I know how to do it. It's something that absolutely can be learned because it's really not that difficult. It's just learning how to show an interest in them, to set aside your goals and your objectives, and especially if you're a person that doesn't like small talk, that just likes to cut to the chase, that's where you have a hard time setting aside your goals and your objectives. But what you have to realize is your goals and objectives come secondary to your clients. Your clients are not buying a house because you need a commission. You're getting a commission because your clients are buying a house. So again, keep that in mind as you're starting that relationship with them. But then you could start to move into fact finding, and this is where you start to take that turn towards, you maybe mentioned real estate, and they're like, ooh, real estate? Buying, selling, ooh, I want to talk more about that. Okay, great. Now we can move into fact finding and keep it very casual, but start to understand more. This person has a potential client. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but stick with us. We're talking about fact finding next. I'm John Christmer. You're watching State of Real Estate.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Christmo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you hit the like button if you like today's episode, because this is how we figure out what topics you guys want to learn more about. We go off of which ones you guys interact with the most. So if you like today's episode, if you want more about leads, fact finding, converting people you have relationships with into business, let us know in the likes, in the comments, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any of this content, because we're posting content almost every single day here at the Tampa School of Real Estate, because we ultimately want to see you succeed. Yes, we want our name attached to your success so we could succeed as well, but we want to help you succeed. That's our primary objective. Just like you are going to help your clients succeed, and your success comes from helping your clients buy that property, sell that property, we succeed by helping you start your real estate career. So, fact finding. Once somebody wants to start talking real estate with you and you've identified a possible opportunity, fact finding is where you go. And I would say that fact finding is one of those things that, as a new agent, you might not know the importance of this, and that might be why you don't do it. But eventually you might learn the importance of that. But then you might forget the importance of it. So this is something that, whether you're a new agent or an experienced agent, you might want to take a first look or a second look at what fact finding is and why it's important and how it could help you streamline your transactions. So fact finding, it's data collecting. It's analyzing. It's understanding. And you might say, well, John, how do I collect data and analyze and understand? It's these magic devices we got up here. We listen. We listen. We watch. We ask. So fact-finding is where you're trying to pull in as much information as you can and try to quickly understand and analyze that information so you could ask better, deeper questions to really get to the root of the juicy information. That's what we're trying to figure out here. We're trying to cut through all the BS and get down to the real, what do we both need to know here? Because going through fact-finding, you might be helping your clients realize things that they didn't even quite realize yet. That's the mark of a true professional, is when you're able to help people make the realizations. And you could do that through fact-finding. A lot of times this will happen if you are thorough and ask good questions. Now, why is this important? Real estate is so dynamic. What does it mean to be dynamic? It means different. It could change. You might work with one client and work with them this way, and you work with another client in a completely different way, and then another agent, if they were to work with those two clients, would do that in a completely different way. So there's so much uniqueness in real estate, not just among realtors and the brokerage options that are out there, but among the clients and what their needs are and what the transaction looks like. You know, that's the 101 stuff that you learn in your pre-licensing course, that real estate is unique. That's why they haven't been able to automate it yet. That's why there's still very highly paid positions for real estate professionals, where you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars with a license that costs you a few $100s to get. But it's up to you to make that happen. It's not going to happen for you. It's not the fact that you get a real estate license and people are handing out $100,000 salaries. You have to go make that business happen. And the way you make business happen is by taking the relationships, the conversations that you're having, and when the subject of real estate comes up, this is where you need to be skilled, of directing that conversation towards business. And look, if they're not ready to sell or buy yet, that's okay. It just means yet. It just means yet. What are your goals? I'm not a genie. I can't make your goals happen today. I know it might be a year, 2 years from now. Of course. Of course we're not going to be able to sell your house today. I mean, you still got all these flowers to plant here. Of course you're not ready to buy yet. You just started looking. They're not wrong. You don't want to try to push them into this right now. You want to develop an honest, caring, open relationship and show them how you could help them, but you cannot show them how you could help them until you understand them. Remember, they're unique. You're unique. They're unique. We're all different. We need to understand them. And you're only going to shoot yourself in the foot if you make assumptions about your clients. Don't assume, ask. Don't assume, ask. Figure out the real answer. And if they give you the politician answer, who just came out of an election cycle, the political politician answer, where you ask them a question, a very simple, direct question, and the answer has nothing to do with the question it is that you answered. And we can all speculate about the politicians and what they're up to and what not, but with our clients, it might be that they don't want to tell us the truth, or it might be that they don't even know their own truth. And we're helping them understand that by fact-finding. So what are some of these questions it is you could ask that are fact-finding questions? You know, somehow that topic of real estate comes up. That's where you've got to be creative. And that's where, a lot of different, depending on the situation, where you're seeing them. I mean, that person gardening in front of your house, it might just be a simple question of, how long have you lived here? I don't think we've met yet. How long have you lived here? I didn't say I live in the neighborhood. I just said I don't think we've met. There's like 7 billion people on the planet that I haven't met. You're one of them. How long have you lived here? 2 unrelated questions. Who says I can't ask those 2 questions together? So we start to have a conversation. We start talking. And they say that, oh yeah, we've lived here for a few years. Oh wow, 5 years you've lived here? Wow. Beautiful house. Well, what do you guys think of the neighborhood? And you're just starting a conversation. You're just trying to figure out if, do they want to move? Or do they have any aspirations? That's your 101 of fact finding. Start with that. Don't try to sell them your real estate services if you don't even know if they need your real estate services right now. That's like, imagine some mother gives birth to a child in the hospital, and right after coming out of labor, college admissions show up and say, well, your baby's going to be going to school in 18 years, so we need to have the subject of the conversation now. Hand over the money now. Yeah, it's 18 years later. We don't know what 18 years later is going to look like, but hand over the money now. It's ridiculous. And it's ridiculous for you to think that you're going to get business right there on the spot. You're not. So get that thought out of your head and focus on the relationship. Focus on just really making a friend. Make a friend first and foremost. The subject of real estate is going to come up because if you live, sleep, and eat and breathe real estate, the subject of real estate just exudes out of you. And that's the best thing you can do to start bringing up the conversation of real estate, is just to exude real estate. Like I said, exude it. Have it on your body. Have it on your mind. Have it in your head. Have it in your mouth. Have things that is, you could say, noteworthy, new, cool stories, news, local happenings, whatever it is, that you could be a knowledgeable person that people look to for information. When you could get people to look to you for information, that garners you respect. And when you have respect, people will trust you. People will listen when you speak. But it's not important what you're saying. What's important is what they're saying, what they're telling you. Because in order for you to be the professional that you are, you need to have the data. You need to have the information. You need to know what you're working with here. You can't do it with your eyes closed and your ears shut. You have to collect the data. You have to ask the questions. And just little things, just little conversation starter types of questions. How long have you lived here? What do you think about the neighborhood? Have you ever thought about selling? Now, that's not a question I would open with, but as you ask questions, you lead into those things. Have you seen that house for sale down the street? It just sold for $400,000. Can you believe that? Really? $400,000? Or they might say, yeah, I can't believe that. I'm really curious what my home is worth. Whoa, that's what I could do. There we go. We just made them ask us for our services. I remember learning about this concept the first time. In a past life, back in high school, I was interested in being an attorney because they made a lot of money. Then I realized that, maybe I don't want to be an attorney for reasons I won't get into. But one of the things that I really found interesting is the concept of leading questions. And it's something that sticks to me to this day, of leading questions, because when you want to help people come to certain epiphanies, to understand certain things, you have to present information in a certain way. And when you present information in a certain way, that allows other people to come to the same conclusions you can. And that's literally what attorneys do in a courtroom, is they're trying to convince these jurors or a judge to come to the same conclusions that they have, to use the facts and the evidence that exist to get them to come to their conclusion. And now, granted, when you're trying to win a listing, it's not like you're being put on trial, but you don't want to just simply tell them. Their lives don't get decided based on whatever side of the argument had the best words. These people make their conclusions. And people are making conclusions every single day. We're thinkers. That's what our consciousness is. We think about things. We ponder things. We don't like being told. And in America, we don't like being told what to do. We like our freedom. We like our liberty. We want to make the decisions, not you. Now, if you help us make the decisions, as long as it's our decisions, which that's really what we do in real estate, own it, accept that. Figure out how to do it better. Figure out how to become more efficient at it. Leading questions. It's figuring out, okay, this is what they need to understand. How can I ask certain things to help them put those pieces together in their head? And I'll tell you, from the education perspective, being with Tampa School of Real Estate, it's maybe a better salesperson. Because a big part of selling, especially in real estate, is educating and informing. And just like we need to make sure that you put certain pieces of the puzzle together in your head about what you need to know about the course and the laws for your exam, when you're practicing real estate, you're trying to get the people to put the pieces together regarding selling their home or buying this home or whatever it is. The fact finding is your best opportunity to take a pulse, to diagnose, to understand. But you got to do it. You got to spend time in it. Figure out everything it is that you can. And you want to do this early on. Because the more it is that you have to go back and forth and go forward and backwards and backpedal. Oh, wait, I forgot to ask you. Oh, wait, I forgot to ask you. Oh, by the way, oh, I should have asked you this because if I asked you that, we would have never wasted our time going to look at this property. Do thorough, in-depth fact-finding from the beginning. And it's going to set your transaction up for success. It's going to get your clients bought into you because you've got a deep relationship with them because you've gone through these details and they've established this with you. And so they're going to feel more obligated to work with you. They're not going to consider working with another agent because they have such a honest, direct, open relationship and they trust you. And they know that you are the best to serve them. That's the goal. That's what we're striving for. Fact finding is going to help you get there. Fact finding is going to understand who you need to be for them. Fact finding is going to help you understand what they don't understand. Because you don't need to waste time telling people things they already know. Especially when there's things that they're at odds with, they're going to cause obstacles and roadblocks in the transaction down the road. So diagnose, figure out what those problems are. Ask those open-ended questions. Get them to talk to you. Get them to open up. Sometimes it helps to even ask unrelated questions first that don't really pertain, but might get them opening up, might get them talking a little bit more, might get them thinking about this. That's your fact-finding stage. So look, that's about all the time we've got for today. If you guys have questions about this, we're always looking for new topics, new information to help share with you guys, to help you jumpstart your real estate career. If you need to get your real estate license, complete post-licensing, pass your exam, if you need exam prep tools, you want to get your broker license, continue your education, we got it all. Call us up, 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. You'd also check us out online at tampaschool.com. Look, if today's episode on these more sales-oriented topics are something that you enjoy, make sure you've enrolled in your post-licensing already. If you're a new agent and you haven't taken post-licensing yet, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. This is a required course. It will cause your license to go null and void, but that's not why you should take it. You shouldn't take it because you have to take it. You should take it because this is a course that's going to help jumpstart your business because it focuses on more real-world topics, not the laws and rules that your pre-licensing course is all about because it's about passing the exam. So get enrolled in that post-licensing course as soon as you can. We've got some great bundle packages that include your pre-licensing and our exam prep tools. Call us up if you're interested in finding out more about that. Again, 813-333-2676 or check us out online at tampaschool.com. Go make this weekend great, and I'll see you guys next week.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
State of real estate. every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida Real Estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've